Welcome to this podcast series called Everybody Has a Story, where I will be in conversation with some extremely interesting personalities. Visionaries, entrepreneurs, business leaders, executives, founders from the corporate and business world. My guest for today is a multi-talented and multifaceted individual who plays many roles. He is a serial entrepreneur, a business leader, a philanthropist, a sportsperson, and a date farmer. Without further ado, let's hear from our guest today, Asad Haque.
Thank you so much, Abhi. Honestly, it's not just a pleasure. I also feel honored that you, having known you for maybe 3 decades plus, has given me, this opportunity, and you value what you think I have learned a lot, or I can probably give back to the viewers and the people who would listen to this podcast, something which they can take back with some value.
Absolutely. I'm sure there will be lots of value. And the first thing, I wanted to start with a topic which, when I first heard about it, I myself was astonished.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I can't imagine Asad doing something like this, right? This is your great hobby, date farming.
Oh, okay.
When I read about it in the news, and recently when we met at a gathering, you mentioned that you harvest almost 1.5 to 2 tons of these dates from 8 different trees in your house. This was totally astonishing.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, what was the inspiration behind this? What was your motivation? Because I cannot imagine you, a person who is a busy CEO, entrepreneur, always brimming with various things to do, a fantastic networker. How did you find time? What was your motivation? And what drives you to do something like this?
I think it is a very interesting point you have brought to the table, and also that this is one topic that is very close to my heart. I've been actually farming dates in Dubai for 18 years now, to be precise.
Wow.
So the harvest that's going to happen this year in July will be the 18th harvest. I always had a lot of passion or liking towards uh, gardening, growing trees, and living around nature. That's how we were brought up during the early part of our lives. Even those days, I used to help my mother. We had a garden in Jayanagar in Bangalore. We had a lot of pots and large trees. These were mango trees, moringa or drumstick trees. Then we had a lot of flowers, small rose garden. Some vegetables were planted, garden vegetables. So I used to spend a lot of time watching them, watering them, along with the guy, the gardener who was there. So this was an early uh, passion or a habit that I had cultivated. Uh, then coming into the Meadows home about, like I said, nearly 2 decades back, we got these trees, 8 of them, into our garden. I think basically it's a gift of God that came back to me, where I had this passion, and nobody knows your heart better than what the Almighty or the Creator would know. So I think He tested me by giving this on a platter. So then I took up that chance and started grooming the trees and getting them pollinated, getting them pruned, getting them properly nourished. And then obviously the harvesting thing started from there, right from the when the seeds come up, then you have the pollination done, then you have these seeds slowly getting into right from flowers to seeds to the fruit. It's a long process. It's a process of 7-8 months in a year for one harvest to be done, and it's only once a year.
So it's almost like a human being. If you're talking about
It is
9
exactly.
months,
It is exactly.
Okay.
It is what they call in Arabic. You see, this tree, the date and the date palm, is I would consider it's a very divine thing, because not just in so many holy scriptures, I would like to say that it's mentioned in the Holy Quran for 22 times.
I see.
So 22 times one fruit or the tree being mentioned has a great significance. And like you said, the process, and they also say it's a hamal of the tree. Hamal means pregnancy, carrying a load.
Oh, ho, ho,
So you see,
okay.
when the trees actually start the flowering to the harvest time, the weight of the fruit is so much on each tree and the trunk, it literally bends down. It's
Right.
like a lady with a child in the belly, the full load. And once you release and you harvest the fruit, they get back to steadiness normal, because it's such a long process with the weight and the effort that they carry and give the fruit. The fruit is for the human, for the
Mm.
birds, whoever consume it. But yes, it is something that, like you said, it's like a full course of a child or a baby
I didn't
being
know
born.
that. I
Yeah,
never had an idea that it would take exactly like a almost close to a human
absolutely.
time gestation period.
Absolutely, and each
Right.
tree has a based on the variety and the kind of season the trees are coming from, and from which location and areas. They have a different time scales. It could be 6 months, it could be 8 months, it could be 9 months. But this is how it is, and so are the varieties. There are 190 varieties of dates available in the market today.
Wow.
Imagine so many of
Wow.
these. And these trees can live up to 150 years, which if you translate to a human generation, it could actually serve 5 or 6 generations. You keep 30 years as a generation, and the next generation comes.
Right.
So yes, there are challenges. You keep them proper, you keep them well treated, they would live for so long.
So you said this was a passion for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you have a passion for something, you tend to excel in it if you put in the effort.
Yes.
So how did you learn about it? I know you had some background in gardening, understanding watering and what kind of soil and what kind of
Yeah. Correct.
I would say climate it should be in.
Yeah.
So about dates, how did you go about learning about it, and what was the time it took for you to
I
pick
think
something up like
it's
this?
very, very relevant question. I think since I was already, a lover of the nature and the trees and the, flora, fauna, I actually lived with them.
Have your coffee?
Yeah, I lived with them.
Yeah.
Having said that, I got time. I created time for dedicating it to this particular hobby of mine. So right from the soil to how the leaves come up, how they grow, what is it that is really required. I visited some farms here in the UAE. I visited some farms in Medina in Saudi Arabia, where it's also considered as one of the hub for date palms,
Dates.
and
Mm.
the Prophet had a lot of love for these trees. So there's a lot of history behind it. Yeah, I did also read a lot of reading on the net. I read about these farms. There are quite a few in Riyadh, in California. Dates are very famous also. Egypt is one of the largest date producing country in the world. So I went into these sites. I read about them. What is it that is a threat to these in terms of insects or in terms of weeds, in terms of so many other things which you need to take care. Probably just once a year we need to put some medicine on top of the trees, so these insects don't really go and drill holes and make the tree hollow, and eventually if you don't take care of them they will fall apart. So all these things I studied, and fortunately I got one or two very good gardeners who are experts in this. So I've hired them for the last many years,
Right.
who really take care of these and proactive in getting them pruned, in getting the leaves trimmed, taking care of all these things in terms of the leaves not getting over grown, or the weight of them affecting the bark and the trunk itself, and of course the roots also. We even sometimes fertilize them with the natural cow dung, and of course sometimes we use fish bones.
Oh, I
So we
see.
get fish from the market and cut them into small pieces. The bones, they have very high nutrients for the date.
Oh,
So we dig holes around the roots of the tree, and we put these fish and cover them with soil, and that also gives them a lot of nourishment, strength. So these are things that you learn when you're on the ground with the people who are into it.
Right.
And once you're into it, you get more and more interest and you see them grow, yield. It gives you a lot of satisfaction. For me, it's a spiritual connection between the creator through the trees and, the other living beings that surround us. It's also a green effect. It also, works against the carbon emission. So we are contributing to the society, to the nature, where we've all come and, we get back again to the creator through the nature.
No, that's amazing. I think if you find a hobby like this, which gives you satisfaction in many different areas, your spirituality, your sense of contentment, your sense of giving back, your sense of connection, I think it's great, and I'm sure people who are watching or listening can take so much out of this. And maybe you should give them, a kind of a one-page document somewhere where they can, if they're interested in doing something like this, what are the top 10 things that they need to
I
do?
have actually done that.
Okay.
In fact, the local press also covered that, and I've put all these points into an action plan or an encouragement plan for people who are interested. And I get calls from many people about this, and I give them this advice, like exactly what you have said.
Right.
It's also documented. You will be surprised that I got a call last year from the Cambridge University in UK.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the professors there from there called me and said that we want to come and have a look at your trees. I said, why is that? Why have you selected? They said, no, we are developing an incense, which is basically a medicine or a trap for these weeds, beetle weed weeds. These are thick, black, very strong, bee-like, wasp kind of insects, which really bore the holes within the trunk and they hollow the tree, and the tree eventually dies. So they are doing research in Cambridge University, and they built this medicine, which is an incense. They hang it on the tree, and it's something which emits vapors, and that attracts the insect.
Oh,
So
wow.
once the insect comes into that jar, it traps the insect.
Right.
And what they do is they collect these insects, take it back to Cambridge. They do research on these insects.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they did
That's
that.
interesting.
They did that. It was very interesting.
Right.
They got hold of some good quantity of insects, and they went back and they're doing what they have to do.
Right. So for those who are watching, I will. You can see all the links that Asad has mentioned in the comments below.
Thank you.
Right. So you also spoke about nature, Asad. I know that you have this yearning or connection with natural things, right?
Yeah. True.
And I sometimes call you the Birdman. I see so many videos of you spending time with birds, feeding them, whether it is London or whether it is in your own home, whether it's in India, wherever you go, I find somehow you take the time out to feed the birds. What is the reason behind it? Why you did mention that it's a connection with nature, but
Yeah.
there must be something more specific that draws you into activities like this.
So very good question again, Abid. We often go to walks. We go to the beach. We walk in the morning or in the evening. We see the
Right.
sunset. We see the sunrise. All these things. That I think you also, I'm sure, experience these factors of nature where everything is in a set path and they're orbiting within their own orbits. Again, this is mentioned in the Holy Quran in Surah Yasin. It's
Right.
Surah 36, chapter 36. That everything is in an orbit, and it's been predestined. How the sun moves, how the moon goes around, the stars are in their specific orbits, the galaxies. All these things are there. So not just that, there is a fascination that I have from the early age, coming to feeding the birds, and it is again something which delights me. It
Right.
gives me a lot of pleasure, and wherever it is permitted to feed birds, be it in UK, or we visit there quite often, or in India, or we go to the jungles also within India when we are on a holiday, or locally here I have seen. You see the kind of birds that we get into our small garden here in Dubai, in the meadows, because of the trees, and yes, we feed the birds. The hundreds,
Right.
sparrows, and mynas, and there are so many umpteen varieties of birds, big and small, They come, they feed, they hop around, they dance around the garden. The music which is there, it is divine.
Right.
Is
Right.
there? So I often, I keep my laptop, I work from there, and people on the other side say, "Where are you? What's going on around you?" I say, "It's nature." But then I
Yeah,
enjoy
I've
that.
seen that.
I
Yeah.
enjoy that. You can actually see the birds, the smaller birds of the same variety, feeding each other also. You see the love within the
Right.
birds. So they sense each other, and once they find food, they give you they give a call in a strange note or a voice of their own, which attracts so many other birds.
Right.
So they help each other. We can see all these things when if you keep your mind and senses open to these things. You see a lot of things, heard, unheard, seen, unseen things, which you can connect, and it gives you a lot of say, why are these guys doing this?
Right.
What is it in them? What do we learn from them?
Are you beginning to learn their language?
I hope, but it's not easy.
Do you understand
Yeah.
that okay, it's calling for food, or it's calling,
We can
it's
sense.
hungry.
We can sense. You
Right.
see, sometimes that's again a point that you touched. If we don't put the bird feed
Yeah.
at regular intervals at home, we can actually see these birds of different varieties come to our windows and literally hit the window, with the beak.
I
They'll
see.
say, "Tuck, tuck." Then they realize, why is this guy doing? Then we realize, oh, the feed has not been put, or the feed is over. And again we go and these are standing instructions within the family that are there to keep feeding them round the clock. And after Maghrib, that is sunset, you will not find a single bird come. They're gone to the nest, they sleep. Early morning sunrise, Fajr, sun is rising, you see them up and about.
You can hear them.
You can hear them.
Right.
They're looking for food.
Right.
So that's the nature again. You see, morning you wake up, as human beings, we also start to think about work, go to work, earn our living, come back. By evening, we're supposed to come back home, sit with the family, relax. That's what the bird do.
Right.
Morning they're out, evening they're back in the nest.
We don't give enough credit to the birds for their intelligence. Somebody was, I was reading somewhere, or maybe I heard it on one of the videos that I was watching, that crows are very intelligent.
Correct.
And the ravens are very intelligent. Apparently, crows can, if the water level in a bowl is not, they're not able to reach, they know that you can, if you add stones to it, the water level rises. Amazing. And there was a kind of a story also that
we have read that when we were young.
Yes, but apparently this is a fact that they have got a sense of intelligence. We call them bird brain. They're got small brains, but apparently they have a lot of intelligence, and they learn, they watch, they can observe humans, and they can follow the behavior of humans to avoid getting, or to probably pick up from their actions.
Correct.
And know when they come for food, when they come for something else, and they pick it up.
Having said that, I have felt this myself. I think these birds, they don't speak, they don't communicate with us, but they sense the vibe. You see, what I tell you, my experience, when I go into the garden to put the feed and all that, the birds are around and they feel they are comfortable. I don't know the vibe they feel. They feel probably I'm their friend. Right. But somebody else goes, in a hasty way and tries to feed, or puts the feed on to them, they fly away because they feel there's a sense of danger with a person whom they don't trust or they don't know. So they know who it is and what is the vibe that they pick up from this person or a human being.
Right. No, very interesting. These are things that I'm also beginning to learn after having interaction with you. Otherwise, my connection to nature has always been, I enjoy nature. I enjoy walking in nature, running in nature, looking at nature. But it's been at a high level. I've never gone into this level of detail where you have grown dates and you have nurtured dates, and at the same time you also spend time with birds, etc. So my question to you is coming back to the date farming topic.
Yep.
You are an entrepreneur, right? Knowing you, I know that you want to, you have delved into different areas. You have your consulting firm. You have, you're working now on the artificial intelligence in a way. You're always experimenting with different business models. And it never struck you that you could make date farming a very lucrative trade?
There were offers.
Right.
There are offers coming in.
Right.
People say, why don't you, sell these at a kilo? We'll give you some 40 dirham, 50 dirham. You can make a lot of money. They come back with this proposition, in a good manner. But then I obviously, I laugh it off and I say, no, I don't want to make money out of this. This is something that I do for giving back to the society as gift, as charity. And there are so many people waiting around the year for this harvest to happen,
including myself.
I'm honored. So we pack them, we properly ensure that they are properly cleaned, and the whole process takes place, and we give it to friends like yourself, family all over the world actually.
Right.
So we send these to right from Australia to friends take it to UK, Canada, the whole of the UAE. So it's a great feeling that you get, and especially when you get a call asking for the dates or they say, yeah, your dates were so juicy. We opened the fast with them. Hundreds of people, we like them, we love them. When is the next? What variety is this? So I get more passion out of this and more encouragement to do it for a hobby and gifting it. Charity is what it is.
No, but definitely, I mean, if I could give you some friendly suggestion,
please,
that would be, right now you're making a few of us very happy because of the dates that you give us. Maybe you can grow them in larger volumes and make many more people happy.
True. That is really one of my inclination or intention. Given the time, whenever, and given the land or the space for this, we're cultivating this further, I would most happily do this and, distribute this to a larger scale and earn more brownie points.
I wish you all the best on
Thank
that.
you, sir.
The other thing which I wanted to ask you, Asad, is you've been here for now 30 plus years.
Yeah.
And I've known you since that time. And I know that you're a sports person. You've always been athletic. I know your dad used to be a very good sportsman. And your brother was a good cricketer as well. So sports is something that you enjoyed and you played at a reasonably good level in back home, especially when it comes to cricket. So when did you start playing your sport, and when did you actually realize that, okay, fine, I think sports is taking me to a certain space. Now I need to look at something else, because I know when we are growing up, even all of us had aspirations of becoming professional cricketers or maybe professional sportsmen, because that's something we enjoyed because we didn't want to study too much. We wanted to play, right?
Yeah, easy way.
So how did you tell us something about that, your early days and your cricket and then your sports, and how did you then come to Dubai and pick up your various endeavors here?
I think Avid, you know me well too much. This is again a very good a topic that you have touched.
But the rest of the viewers don't know you that well.
True. A lot of people, obviously, they don't know me or what I've been doing. Well, thank you for that. Sports is again a part of our DNA. Like you said, my father, he played tennis to a state level, and he was a champion up to his age of 75 years as a veterans champion. So he played in various
75 years. He
75 years of his
That's
age.
amazing. That's
He
amazing.
passed away a few months ago. He was 88 years. So we have seen him religiously go to play tennis from our very young days, very, very young days. And he was highly passionate about the sport. He was also a good cricketer. So we picked up from there. And then there was a lot of encouragement at home. Fantastic encouragement from my mother. My father, of course, he was a great sportsman. My brother also was a very, very good cricketer. He's played up to South Zone level in India. A very dashing cricketer he was. Batsman.
Right.
He was an opening bat, and he's played with some of the greats of Indian cricket, including Azharuddin.
I've read his name a number of times. Tanveer scores century. Tanveer does this. I remember on
True. He was very good right
yeah,
from the schooling days through to engineering. He finished engineering. Then he came to Dubai. He was in Dubai in the 80s. He captained the India team for Dubai, or UAE rather.
right,
And that encouraged me. And so early days, I started playing cricket in my school, and I played a good level of cricket. Lot of local tournaments for schools, colleges. I played, and incidentally, for the under 15, the under 19 state level, there were certain tournaments being run across the state. So for 2 consecutive years, I was the best all-rounder for Karnataka state, which was one of the best states for cricket in India, high level cricket. I was given the award by Mr. Chinnaswamy. Mr.
okay,
Chinnaswamy was the president of the
wow.
Board of Control of Cricket India, BCCI. So I
So
have those
the
certificates.
stadium is on his name, right?
Correct,
The
correct,
Chinnaswamy
correct.
Stadium in
Exactly.
Bangalore. Yeah.
So he personally handed over these certificates to me because of my performance in the under 15, under 19 cricket, which was, I think, it was a commendable thing I had achieved those days. It was quite popular in the circles, and we have a lot of common friends who played cricket during those days. And incidentally, Anil Kumble, our Indian captain, the highest wicket taker in the world, he was also with me in college. So within the college tournaments, some of the matches I've played with him. I've captained him in the mechanical, industrial engineering groups of games. So he was a great player those days itself. Well, so that's the kind of cricket. I came to UAE. I played for the Indian sports club here, and that's when I realized that the competitiveness of the game was very high. It needed a lot of hours to be dedicated, which I couldn't because I was just starting my career here in UAE, and that didn't give me enough, time to dedicate. So I thought I'll take up the professional line. However, going back to the school and college days, the good laurels that I had won during my under 15, under 19, those stages in life enabled me to win these trophies, certificates that helped me actually get the engineering college seat in RV College of Engineering on a sports quota.
Amazing.
So that did help a lot for me to get into the academics. I did play there, but the final years I slowed down because I needed to make a choice. Either I pursue the cricketing arena or professional, and I knew I was good, but I was not at that notch. So
Right.
I took a right decision.
Right. Interesting because you say that because I also had a similar experience.
Yeah.
While I was interested in playing cricket and playing professionally, I don't think I had the commitment to do that. But then you may not know this, or maybe I mentioned to you some time ago that I also, my first career break in Dubai came because of my cricket.
Oh wow, wonderful! Yeah,
I was not getting a job through my academics, but I got a job through my cricket.
fantastic. Fantastic.
Another day, another episode, we can talk about it.
We can. Indeed.
Yeah. So that's fantastic to hear, Asad. Now coming to your time in Dubai when you first came and you said your career started here. I know now that you're an entrepreneur now, but initially you were not. You were working in a corporate world.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
So tell us something about it and what made you shift from working for a corporate to starting your own business and getting into entrepreneurship.
Well, it's a long story, Abid. After my engineering, in fact, even before the results were out, 1989, I was fortunate to be hired by Infosys. Infosys, I mean, it's a household name in India, probably in the world,
Yes.
one of the top IT software companies. And I was fortunately, handpicked
Right.
by Mr. Narayan Murthy.
Oh wow, the Narayan Murthy
the
himself.
Narayan Murthy,
Amazing.
and Nandan Nilekani. They were both the founders, and I had a series of interviews with them while we just finished the exam, and they selected me to join the company as a marketing executive for their softwares. A variety of products they did have. But what they gave me at Infosys was a fantastic platform and direct grooming by these stalwarts who are world renowned people today too, in terms of how to sell software, the soft skills behind it, the technology behind it, what really goes in development of these softwares. So at a very early stage of my career, I was fortunate to have these mentors and bosses. So with that platform of, the Infosys that I had worked for, and having worked with the right people, the best of breed, the entrepreneurs which are till today considered as the top guys for the IT industry in India, across the world. So I was fortunate, like I said, and then I came back with that good grooming and the confidence. And I was here on a holiday in Dubai. Having said that, people did say in early 1990 actually, why don't you look for a job and all that. So there was an opportunity. I met a few professionals, and I was offered a job with Emitac. Emitac those days was Hewlett Packard, because HP regional office was not here, they being the distributors, and it was a part of the Bukhatir Investments, a conglomerate. They hired me with a good package. I was with them for about 8 years, and during the course of that tenure, I also formed a integration company for PCs. This was the first locally assembled PC in the Middle East, in UAE. They were called or branded as CUB PCs, CUB.
Right.
And for this, we had to travel all over the world, get in the right chipsets from Intel to, motherboards from Taiwan, the best of breed, Silicon Graphics, all kinds of chips, RAM sets, monitors from Korea, from China. So we sourced all this equipment and integrated this in Sharjah. The factory was in Sharjah, and we derived a lot of success with this, Abid. I think we sold over a period of 5 years, 5 to 6 years, 20,000 computers. Can you beat that? A locally manufactured company. So we have these installations. Till today, I have preserved the accolades that I have collected from Deva, from Dubal, from Ministry of Education, from the top corporate houses in the UAE, for having given these technology, well-built machines. Right, from CAD CAM to mapping to the municipalities, very powerful machines, because we customized them to the requirements of what the customer needed. So that was a big success. Then I moved on to Samsung. It was a much bigger job, a regional job, traveled from North Africa to the entire Middle East up to Turkey. Then I again worked with Xerox for a few years. So these are all international exposures, regional. And so what happened during this time of about first 15 years of my career in the UAE, in Dubai, I built the network. I built the confidence that required within myself and with the people who I worked with, because I gave a lot of technology to these customers, be it various verticals, it is healthcare, education, financial, banks, ministries, oil and gas. So we penetrated all these segments. That was when there were some changes in the worldwide scenario in the corporate world with Xerox, and I had to, quit the job because of some changes in the United States. Though I was the top performer in the Middle East, I've got that, accolade also from the regional boss. And yes, things happen for better change. I believe in that.
Right.
So that was when I moved into the entrepreneurship about 18 years ago, to be more precise.
Wow. And I recall you saying that, you built assembled the first computer called CUB.
Yeah.
And to many of our young audience, in those days, we had to build computers, and there were no personal computers at that point in time. And I remember an incident, or I still strongly recollect that when I first joined Emirates and I was working there in the accounts payable department, we had one computer, and the rest of us worked on dumb terminals, right?
Absolutely.
And that one computer used to do all the printing, etc. And it was operated by one person. And that person was very possessive about it. But what I remember very clearly is he would come in the morning at 7 o'clock, switch on the computer, go have his coffee, have his breakfast, then come back. And I think it would take about 10-15 minutes for that computer to reach a stage where he can start working on it.
Absolutely.
Just imagine how fast technology has moved to where it is now.
That's a great point you brought. You see, those days, these mainframe machines were what were running or driving huge corporations like Emirates, and there were so many other departments here where we have supplied through HP these humongous machines. But even before that, I had the experience of working with these mainframe computers at National Aeronautical Lab, NAL, in India. Now, this is one of the high-tech lab or IT research center for designing aircrafts. So, to cut the long story short, I had a project in my final year of engineering where we used to go and operate or work on these systems via terminals, and the way they were treated, these machines were treated within two glass enclosures, and the sanctity was like you're going to the house of God.
Right.
And the guy, man, the IT guy managing these supercomputers, as what they were called, was like a selected selected priest of God.
Right.
So he had so much power, and everybody used to look at him and say, oh, this guy manages the mainframe computers.
Sure.
So it was a very good experience, and what you say, I can
Yeah.
relate.
And just
to that.
imagine the super power computer was housed in a building.
Correct.
Now it is in your pocket.
That's true. That's true.
Just
it's compared to the data centers today, Abid.
Right.
Today you have data centers holding billions of transactions and all that within this structure, which are highly protected areas for power, for security, concrete buildings, AC, cooling, no power failures. We design data centers. So, we know this was what it was those days, having a mainframe within a building or within a computer room, a sacred room. Today, with the advent of technology, the new stuff that has come, an iPhone more or less has a power as much as that, and the storage capacity. Yeah. And the storage capacity of gigabytes and terabytes and all that.
And it's dust proof, it's waterproof.
Imagine. And it's in your pocket.
Yes. It has made us superhumans. Yeah.
I remember having said about this, the connectivity and the internet and the first PC being assembled, early 1990s, we got internet those days. And Etisalat, the local provider in Dubai, we used to buy the modems from them. 16 kbps, 64 kbps, 128 kbps was like, oh, you are something divine. You can communicate with email, see the internet at faster speed. Today, at my home, I have 250 gigabytes of transmit throughput. Imagine the power. Yeah, there are a lot of advantages to it. There are a lot of possible disadvantages to it. You can stream films, you can have live gigabyte video transfer of communication. So the industry has gone an enormous way of reformation, still growing. New things to come.
Absolutely. And it's not going to stop. It's just going to get more and more powerful and scary. We all have been reading about ChatGPT, AI recently, and I think we are still learning so much about this topic. We really don't know where it's going to do, what it's going to do. The bits and pieces of information that we get, we hear somebody like Elon Musk saying that there is a concern around this. You've got to have regulations. At the same time, there is so much of encouragement coming that this is going to ease lives of people. It's going to increase the GDP of economies, and at the same time, it's like a double-edged sword. And I don't know if you have any views about this, or is it something that I'm learning every day. What are your thoughts, your immediate thoughts on this?
No, like you rightly pointed out, Abid, this is a double-edged sword and little scary. But we, having been within the business of technology for 3 decades plus, for us it is also a challenge, but it's also a learning period, and we want to be on top of the learning curve always. That having said, there is a threat to a lot of people also who are not so technology savvy, because today, the day and age where we are, without technology, I would say that a person cannot progress. He's finished unless he doesn't want to be in the game of a business or anything related to communications, and that's very hard. So you need to encourage people to use these tools more often. Of course, the young gen are more capable. They are naturally learning these techniques of handling the AI related apps.
They're born in that world.
They're born in that world. They're born in the iPads, and they know how to do and use this with the better capabilities. Information is available. Everything is available at your fingertips today. But yes, how to use it more effectively and how to professionally harness and improvise your productivity by using these gadgets which are available today. The technology is there on the platforms for free in many cases to enhance productivity. But then if you are not accustomed to it, there is a scare of job losses. There is a scare of people getting redundant because they don't know how to use it. So you have to harness your skill sets.
Yeah, I guess it's a lot of learning, lot of we probably in a state where we are saying let's wait and see. But what you are saying is that wait and see may not be the right approach. Maybe you may need to start getting in, rolling up your sleeves and getting in to try and understand how this AI
Absolutely, I rolled up my sleeves. It is.
Yeah. And also, we've got to not be afraid of AI. We have to be positive. We have to think of how AI can improve our lives.
It is indeed.
And that's probably what's the way to tackle something like this.
It is going to be a part of our lives. There is no question about that. Take the field of healthcare, take the field of education. The AI is proliferated in a very big way there. I mean, you can see, even the social media that you handle on a daily basis, it understands your needs, your desires, your requirements. So it pops up information that is more related to you, what you like to shop, what you like to eat, what is the car you like, where do you want to go today, if you are traveling, even if you are thinking about something, the kind of behavior that you interact with the machine, it understands and it throws out information to you free of cost. Why? Because these AI apps are behind these apps and they understand you better probably than what we understand ourselves better. So this is something that you have to, leverage and also be careful in terms of you're not driven totally by the AI or the machine, and have a balancing act rather than totally give in. But then it's a very much part of life. Medical, you see these operations being done remotely through the help of AI, through the help of robotics, identify, pinpoint the where the issues are with the human body, anatomy. These things are happening again in research, development, all areas which are having IT as a core enabler to do business. AI is infiltrated into that. It will only grow.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Now, one area which I am always fascinated, with people, especially you, is your superpower. You have a superpower. I don't know if you know about it. I'm sure you have many superpowers, but this one superpower which I have always admired in you is your ability to network, effectively network. And you also mentioned in your previous response that you built a strong network, and I know you have such a network. What I see is that your capability of networking with any person, be it big, small, in any segment of society, you're able to very effectively network. And this is something which I'm want to learn more, and perhaps the audience would benefit from. Is how do you go about it? Is this something that came naturally to you? Did you develop this by observation, by realizing that this is my superpower, I have a natural talent towards this, or did you have to work hard at it? And I know it's a lot of work because I also have spent the same amount of time in Dubai as you, but my networking skills are nowhere close to what you have. And this is something I want to probe you a little bit, pick your brains to understand, and maybe take some tips while even the viewers can take some tips out of this?
Thank you, Abid. I think it comes to me quite naturally.
Right.
Again, from an early age, I've been, like I said, a popular guy within the school and within the communities and within the sports and everything that what I did those days. And it so happens that I love to make friends. I would say that, these 30 years here in Dubai and these 34 years of my career so far, not one day has passed where I have not made a new friend or a new connect or a new contact or an alliance with somebody or the other, be it in business, be it in farming arena, or be it in sports or on a social platform. This is how I have been. But yes, it takes a lot of I think effort, and it is worthwhile to invest in that effort. It's not just for your satisfaction to have more friends or more connections within the global platform, but then it also helps you to, at times, in your professional career. It helps you in connecting people to people. It helps you in winning trust of people. And these are not just connections which are fly-by connections or acquaintances. I develop them.
Right.
So it takes an effort. It takes an effort, and you shouldn't have any inhibitions. Supposing, as an example, you attend an event, be it an event in IT or a sports, or it could be a healthcare symposium or wherever you go. Obviously, you need to meet people of all ranks, of all categories, of all races, people speaking different languages at times, different parts of the continent. You exchange your information and build an interest in your conversation for the other party. You need to identify what is it that could be of a common interest to, a group or an individual, be it, somebody who could be a very powerful person in the region from where he is coming or whatever. And then, we shake hands and we develop that, not just within the meeting time, take it further.
Right.
Take it further, make a call and, thank him for the time he gave you, or send an email. These are additional efforts that you have to cultivate and build. Like I said, it's an investment.
Right.
It is not a waste of time. It is an investment with the right kind of people, and it could be anybody. I go to the villages in India, for example. I go with my brother who runs so many orphanages and schools for the less privileged. We go there, spend time, give them a lecture on something on new technology, way of life, education, so many things that could be helpful to them, and connect with these people. Connect
Right.
with these people. They will never forget you in your lives, in their lives.
Right.
And they will come back to us seeking for some help. So this requires time, energy, passion, not just connect with the high network. No. It is all kinds strata of the society where you are able to give back. Yeah, you get from somewhere more information, knowledge. It could be even charity, and then you pass it on to the less privileged people for a betterment, upliftment in their education, society. You can go and help them in knowledge sharing, spread good knowledge, drill a borewell,
Right.
get water for them,
Right.
contribute in a computer center in a school. Or you can't contribute, you have your connects, people with that surplus amount of wealth they have. Tell them, these people need this infrastructure, can you help? Or tell them, help them out. I'm sure they'll come out, and we have experienced it.
Right.
People come up with a lot of goodwill to support these initiatives. This is where I connect people, build bridges.
Right.
And it benefits the society. It gives me a lot of pleasure, and I think it's a very strong characteristic that one should build to succeed in life.
Right. Absolutely. And for a person like you, where you feel that it comes naturally to you, I guess it brings you a lot of energy. It brings you a lot of satisfaction to meet new people.
Yeah.
And you said, like, in the last 33 years, you have at least on a daily basis, you have made one new friend who you have connected
I guess,
with.
yeah.
So is that we are talking about 12,000 people in
I'm
about
sure.
30 years?
I'm sure it could be, and that compounds. that
Yeah.
compounds. You know, you
Friends
meet-
of friends.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
Yeah. So it must be taking a lot of your time. So on a daily basis, how much time do you spend on investing in networking?
Good question. You see, I'm on the media. I use LinkedIn a lot past few years, ever since it is there as a platform. It's not too much time, Abhi. You see, I'm also on the move. I meet people, I go to meetings, I give presentations, sometimes I give some talk, and I just don't come back without collecting more information from the audience or from the people who I meet or the common people who attended an event. Or I, for example, go to exhibitions where we meet so many people of different cadres, different industries, and there are common people who again introduce you to new people. We are in technology business, so technology business is always evolving. So you're meeting so many people in the industry, sometimes who we have never met from different parts of the world, come to present some new solutions. So we meet them, and again we have factory visits, we visit them, we in turn again connect with more people, we connect people who we know to them for business, for social interactivity, for the benefit of the society, like I said. Then again there are people who are philanthropists in the area where they are cultivating trees, they are doing green revolution within the planet. And I mean, these are different people, different
Right.
strata of society. So you enjoy meeting them. Answering your question, it's a part of life for
Right.
me, the
Right.
work life. And then again, maybe half an hour or 1 hour a day, I kind of dedicate to looking into these areas or projects, whereby again, everything is done by human.
Right.
There is nobody or nothing that a robot is running an initiative. No, there are people behind this. So
That will change probably soon with AI.
yeah, but there are people always behind these
Right.
machines. You
Right.
see, so we connect with those people, get more ideas, and give ideas of our experiences.
Right.
So it is an effort. It's a way of life
Right.
for me.
So you have made it as part of your journey. That's why you don't feel that you're putting effort. It
Correct.
just comes naturally.
It comes
to you.
naturally.
So I'm talking from a person who is probably a little bit has inhibitions, right?
Yes.
You mentioned about going to a seminar and meeting as many people as you can. Yes, when you go to a seminar or you go on LinkedIn, it's very easy for you to connect with a number of people, right?
Correct.
You might identify people with similar interests and you might connect with them. But how does one take it to the next level? Because one is that if I go on LinkedIn, many
Yeah.
people don't know me unless they see my profile. And I know I get a lot of connection requests because people think that I can give them a job. People think that because I have this much experience, I can
Mentor them.
mentor them, or people think that because I'm in this line, they can, get something out of me in terms of, let's say, marketing, digital marketing, or selling products, etc.
Correct.
So that kind of connections that come into me, sometimes I feel this is a waste of time, right? But the ones which are genuine, those don't come very regularly, and also I have to put that effort in.
There is an effort.
Yes. So how do you maintain? I know that you have so many connections. How do you connect? I know you spoke about having find a interest, which both of you have in common. Like, for example, if there is a person who's interested in date farming and you also in date farming, then the connection becomes much
Faster.
right? So how do you do this where you have such a wide number of people and you connect with them on one level, but you're not able to push that forward?
Again, you have to be a little selective in nurturing the relationships further.
Right.
But then, having said that, platforms like this or LinkedIn or the other areas where we have a lot of information that you can put up across, so the person who is interested in you or in what you have done can look at it and come back to you with more relevant questions, more practical and focused. So that way, you will be able to build the bridge faster with these kind of people. But the other way is also that, you identify areas or groups or people who need more education, or ilm as we call in Arabic. Ilm is a very powerful word. It talks about education, knowledge, seeking knowledge, sharing knowledge, a whole lot of things under that we want to do. Spread the good ilm, good knowledge to people or groups who may require it more than people who have enough of resources. So we target all kinds of audiences, learn from people who have more resources, more knowledge, gather that and cascade that to areas where getting or seeking knowledge is more difficult. Like I said, the people of need, or who need more information, knowledge, who need economic support, social support in terms of uplifting them. So we need to go there sometimes.
Right.
We need to go there, talk to them on a platform, or share these videos. Your podcast is a fantastic platform,
Right.
I guess.
Right.
This could reach thousands of people where probably we will not be able to go physically or talk to them. So once they hear this, of course we will have our coordinates, our contacts open on this platform for them to approach us back.
Right.
I would like to have people listen to this similar platforms that we broadcast, or what we have information on available to them, to reach us, and we will share more specific knowledge to them. Yes,
Definitely.
there is an effort, but it's end of the day worthwhile what you achieve in terms of success.
Right.
That is something that I would measure as a success that one would, in terms of reaching out to more people, enable them, empower them,
Right.
and give them enough so they could build their career, or gain at least something from what we are able to offer.
Exactly. Now, you mentioned a little while ago about the philanthropic efforts that your brother does, and you joined him as well. But I remember something that you have done in your own capacity, which I always think that this is a wonderful idea if more people do it.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you have put a fridge in front of your
Oh,
garage where you put in various foodstuffs, and you keep it open for people to come and pick it up. Tell me something more about this, so we can learn. Perhaps we can also imbibe that.
Thank you, Abid. This is an initiative about, I think, 5 years back, that was not started by me. It was my daughter Manal,
Right.
who, along with some friends within the community, friends who are from Britain, from Australia, different parts of the world, they thought together that why don't we help the again, the poor farmers, or rather the gardeners and people working on the street. This is a very hot place, that Dubai, the summers are anything between 40 to 50 Celsius, and people working on the road, the people working for the municipalities, or doing their own livelihood as a gardener or whatever. So they move around our areas of home where there is nothing available for them. There are no supermarkets, there are no essentials available easily. So what we thought is, during Ramadan is the holy month where people fast, and they get back home before the evening, and then have a refresh meal. So what we did was, we started these Ramadan fridges, what we call,
Nice.
where we stock food, which could be anything to do with milk products, or soft drinks, water, fruits, vegetables. Stock them, and people in the society, in the environment around us, do also have the privilege to come and fill up these fridges. And this is open to all. Anybody can come, fill up their bags, get back, use it, drink out of it, eat out of it there, and quench their thirst. It gives a lot of pleasure in doing this. Similar to this, we also have a water vending machine right in front of our garden area, which is accessible to anybody going on the road. So people stop by, they come in vans, they fill up cans, they fill up their water bottles with cold water, because these people start work very early in the morning.
Right.
6 o'clock they're up and about on the streets doing work, and they're up to 6 o'clock in the evening working. So where would they go? They won't be able to knock at the doors and ask for water or a soft meal or something like that. So we have made provision in a small way, and I really urge people to do it more. and encourage them to do this, because it's a societal contribution. People will come forward to you and fill up the fridge that you have put together, and people will benefit from it.
It is a very thoughtful endeavor, and it is so helpful for people who are working hard in the heat. And
Yeah, correct.
if every house has something like this in your community, it makes such a big difference.
Small initiative, it will
Yes.
take a long way.
Yes, perfect. Right. So, any advice that you have for young aspiring entrepreneurs or young aspiring business people who want to get into this world of entrepreneurship? Although you probably stepped into it but because of circumstances, but there are many people who want to take that step.
Yeah, I think it's a part and parcel of one's life. And the earlier you start thinking about it, and the earlier you start the initiatives of giving about to the other sections of the society. It's not just about charities in terms of uh, wealth or distribution of your money. No, it's not just that. That's just one part of it. It could be knowledge. It could be your time to them. It could be mentoring them. Not necessarily for a person to be having a 25 years of experience to mentor somebody. No, it can be young people. Young people can mentor young people.
Right.
So you start that early. Share your knowledge. Share your experiences. And today's world, like all the platforms are available. Physically, you can be there, or you can use these tools, Zoom calls, all kinds of social interactivity that can be done, and beneficial knowledge. It's not just entertainment or something that you do for a living. It's beneficial knowledge that you have to spread. I would say that at an early age, every student, even if they could allocate some time, a little bit, 1% of your pocket money or what you earn, start building that, and you can see that these will grow into mountains of wealth for you and for the people who you educate, who you would sponsor, in terms of your time, in terms of the knowledge, like I said, in terms of something that you have invented, or you have a thought process. Put it in their minds and let them start growing with it. You can see how much of influence you can have on a society, because there are thousands of people needing help there. It can be mentoring. It can be also help in terms of psychological help. A lot of people today, Abid, have mental health issues.
Yes.
I think that's one area which is a separate chapter. They need counseling.
Right.
They need help to be stable. It's not just that the wealthy people are very happy. No. There's a lot of wealthy people who are unhappy there. They need help. They need directions in life, mentoring, which we could, given a state that we are in.
No, depression is a big issue with many people, and it's like you said, it's a very vast topic, and I don't think I'm qualified to talk about it, but I can share that everyone in life goes through some depression at some point in time.
Ups and downs.
Ups and downs. Neither success nor failure are permanent.
Yeah,
but
true.
Unfortunately, sometimes failure can have a very debilitating effect on you if you take success to your head.
Very
right,
risky.
Yes. So it's something which a lot of people struggle with, I think, and especially young people, but it's not being talked about too much. Yes, there are a number of celebrities nowadays who are coming out with their own feelings of depression. I guess they feel it more because being a celebrity, you get praised very quickly if you've done a great thing. But if you're watched so closely, if you make a mistake, then you're immediately brought down, and this can have a massive impact on your mental health.
Correct.
And I guess apart from celebrities, everybody, each one of us have faced failures so many times in our lives.
Of course.
And I think we get more failures than success. But the beauty of that is, I think failures teach us more than success.
Very true. Very true.
Right? When you fail, you learn. So it's a very interesting, or it's a very powerful quote that I have read, and I try to see whether I can imbibe that in my life on a regular basis, is a quote which says, "I never lose. I either win or I learn."
Yeah, that's good.
Right?
I mean,
so if I'm sure a lot of us do this unconsciously, we learn, and so if your mindset is that you're never going to lose, whatever happens, whether it's good or bad. Yeah, if it's good, great. If it is bad, again, great, because you're learning something. So that kind of a mindset really helps, I guess. And there's so many things I want to talk to you about, Asad. Perhaps we can do it in a future episode.
Definitely.
And thank you very much for coming, and thank you very, very much for sharing your thoughts. And I'm sure the viewers are going to gain so much out of this in terms of your life experience, and also I have learned so much.
I keep learning from you, Abid. You're not just a friend, you're a coach, and we keep communicating. So, I mean, summing up, communication is key. Yes. And in today's world, with the gadgets and everything, people have stopped talking to each other. Yeah. They're just communicating on the iPads or the mobile phones. We should talk to people. Talk to people, network. That's when you get to connect to heart.
Yeah.
It's a heart-to-heart communication when you can understand the feelings of a person.
Yeah.
Communication, dry communication, on the net or so doesn't give you the feelings of a person, how he feels, how could you help him, what does he need, what you need. So if you start talking to the right people, across the globe with the platforms today, we keep talking to each other and sharing so much information, including this platform that you brought together. Yes. It's a great way, and let's keep communicating.
Thank you.
Let's keep it going, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.